Good morning, everybody. It is January 5th, and it is a beautiful Saturday here in Southeastern North Carolina. It's 61 degrees. The sky is crystal clear and blue. It just looks great. The dumpster and the porta potty are sparkling in the sun. We've had horrible weather over the past 4 days. It has just been non-stop rain and dreariness. And I'd really love to be outside right now, but I'm relegated to the garage because it is extremely breezy out and you'll never be able to hear anything I'm saying on the camera. So I am going away on a business trip for a few days in the upcoming week, and my fig cuttings are so advanced in their root systems and in their development of green shoots that they are using water at an alarmingly high rate. So I've been having to water these every 3 days or so because they're starting to dry out. So it's going to be time to up-pot them. I have some larger flower pots here that I'm going to move my plants up to. And over here in this Lowe's bucket, I have a mixture of potting soil and mulch that I've been using that I baked in the oven at 300 degrees for about an hour to kill off any fungus gnat eggs, so while I'm gone I don't get an explosion of bugs inside my house. So I want to break this down and show you exactly what I'm dealing with. Everything's coming along really well, and I've made even more progress over the past week. I've had a couple of Italian 258 cuttings finally root, so I'm bordering dangerously close to the 80-90% success rate, which is pretty darn good for my first time ever with fig cuttings. So I'll break these down and I'll show you what I have. Alright, I'll give you a brief update on all of my cuttings and how they're doing so far. Here I have a Col de Dame Blanc that I just put in potting soil 6 days ago, so that hasn't done anything yet. That's still pretty young. I have a Smith that I've been trying to root since the 2nd of November. It spent 5 weeks wrapped in a paper towel and then over 4 weeks in this pot right here, and it's not really doing anything other than this little bud and another little bud down there, so hopefully it's waking up and it'll do something soon. And then I have this Italian 258 cutting that has not done anything at all yet. I think it's starting to send out a little bud or two. These two Italian 258 cuttings, both rooted. I have nice roots developing here. And here is another Italian 258. I have nice roots developing here. And then this raspberry latte, the root system is not very advanced yet, and it's not using a tremendous amount of water. So the 6 over here, I'm not doing anything with yet. They're all going to stay in the pots that they're in. But I have 2 Col de Dame Noir, 4 raspberry latte, a black Madeira KK, and a Smith that are really advanced. You can see how advanced the root systems are. They really look tremendous. They have a lot of leafy green growth. I'll show you the black Madeira, looking great. Hopefully you can see that. Smith, looking great. Col de Dame Noir, just an explosion. Looks like a network of veins in there. And if you've been watching my videos, you'll see I only have 1 black Madeira here, but I had 2. So where did the other one go? Well, I've been trying to root one of my black Madeiras for about since the 2nd of November, and it was doing absolutely nothing. I pulled it out of its cup this week, and it had no root nodes, no nothing, but I felt it around, and it was still nice and firm. There was no rot at all. So I took a kitchen knife, and I scraped away some of the outer wood to expose the green layer inside, and everything was still nice and green. So I made a bunch of cuts, and I placed it in this bag, and inside of this bag you'll see this is it's just dirt that I grabbed from outside. It's some potting mix, some pine straw that's buried around my house, and I just buried this cutting in here for a couple of days, and after doing nothing for 2 months, after only a few days in this wet dirt, I have a few root initials. Hopefully you can see that. You can see that initial hanging down right here. There's another one right there. So it looks like it's finally doing something. So you can see where I scraped away You can see right here where I scraped away some of the wood, and the root's starting to stick out. So after 2 entire months of doing absolutely nothing, I buried it in some damp pine straw and potting mix, and it came to life. So I'm probably going to pot this in a clear pot along with up-potting my other figs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to show you, you can hear how windy it is, I'm going to do that and then I'll show you the results. Now before I start, I want to go over a few principles that I always like to go over before I begin the process. All of these pots right here, I washed them all in the sink with hot soapy water first. Because these were new pots, they can be contaminated with all kinds of chemicals from a factory, or they could have been cross-contaminated if they were shipped with chemicals like limes and bleaches and other kinds of poisons that they'll ship to, you know, like a Home Depot. You don't know what's going to contaminate them. So always start off with clean pots. This potting mix is potting soil and mulch that I baked at 300 degrees in the oven, and I let come back down to cool off because obviously I don't want to cook my plants. So I just want to take this out and show you the root system that I'm dealing with. Oh yeah, this potting soil is also pre-moistened. It's good to pre-moisten your soil. It's easier to work with. So I want to squeeze it from the bottom a little bit. Oh, this is really in there. Look at that. Look at that network of roots. Really spectacular. So I'm going to put this in my pot, in which I put a little bit of soil in the bottom. And I'm going to just move this around and try to get full coverage, because right now it's obviously too tall sitting on the soil that I put in it. And here we are. These are my advanced figs all potted up, and the stragglers, including the Black Madeira that just sent out some roots, they're all in smaller pots. So hopefully now that they all have, hopefully now that the advanced figs have more real estate to grow in, the pots won't dry out as quickly, and they will do well while I'm away on business for several days. So now I get to do the fun thing and carry them all inside. Okay, all of the figs have been brought inside. I noticed that a few of them were wilting from the transplant shock, so I actually sprayed them down with some fine water mist, and now they're starting to perk back up again. So it's looking like I'm going to have to leave them in the shade for a few days for them to reacclimate and get over the transplant shock before they can go back over to their normal position, which is near that heating mat in my very sunny south-facing window. So they'll stay here for a few days, and then we'll move them over. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you all watching, and we hope to see you again next time.